Okay, I am so sorry. That was not intentional. Puerto Rico was not supposed to be a part one and part two, but in my efforts to get these videos out as quickly as possible, I ran out of storage. Apple cut me off. Sorry, I'm not gonna be re-record the video. So I'm just gonna pick up where I finished off or was cut off in the last video. So the third really important special thing that happened while I was on Puerto Rico was that I began to work on my magna opus. I think I pronounced that correctly. It's not magna opus, right? Magna opus. The most important piece of my career, that's all I'm gonna say for now, something that I'm gonna launch and formally introduce later, not even in the story, but just later, because I understand that that is a very lofty statement, that packs a punch. I stand 100% behind that statement. So I will talk more about this work later, but the important part is that I actually began working on the thing that I am going to spend the rest of my life talking about and promoting, and what I truly believe at its core is my gift and legacy, what I want to be remembered for to the world after I leave. So that began also on Puerto Rico. So those three very, very, very important things took place while I was on the island of Puerto Rico, okay? You guys hear the parrots? If you didn't, well, I hope you did, but the parrots just flew by my window. Anyway, again, so I left Peter on that island, made a sale without lifting a finger, flip-flop CEO, began work on my legacy, magna opus. I should have learned how to pronounce that before making this video. Anyway, the other things, like I said, the fourth thing about this, and this was not meant to be a part one and part two. Sorry, try to keep on top of my storage here on out. The other thing about Puerto Rico is that technically this is the halfway point in the story. I actually think that there are going to be more than 20 videos in the second half, but timeline-wise, this is the halfway point in the story. And it could also be that there are less videos because some of these are shorter. But anyway, fewer videos. So here's the deal. Timeline-wise, again, this is Puerto Rico is about the halfway point in the story. Everything, every little thing that I talked about up until this point will absolutely be expanded on in the second half. The second half is, again, so much more dramatic, so much more crazy and insane. You will absolutely hear me say much more. I can't believe this shit myself, even though it happened to me. How I expect y'all to believe it when I don't even believe it myself, okay? That is all gonna come in the second half, okay? And remember, just as a reminder, this story officially ends August 1st, 2024, the last time I ever saw this man, which was, again, 6 weeks after the last time we had communication. So yes, I saw him one last time. Fucking San Francisco International Airport. Talk about that later. Anyway, okay, so let's just wrap up the year 2022 because fuck is all I can say. You're gonna see where this story goes and how this story progresses. But for the rest of 2022, thankfully, it was largely uneventful. So the highlights of this time, again, I had already sold my pet care business actually the year prior, but the thing is that over the holidays, you can work as much or as little as you want. Y'all know I'm a hustler. Y'all know that I had debts to pay off. I had things to do, places to be, right? So tourism is touch and go because there actually are people who want to take tours on. Christmas Day is actually a very popular day to take tours, but I'm getting ahead of myself or beside the point. So I was very busy, grinding, doing my thing. The highlights of the end of 2022 of that year, which was a kind of kind of an all over year, but it was kind of a smooth landing is the way I think about it, because the really crazy year was 2021. But 2022, I got this tattoo. I saved up a lot. I saved up months for this, and I got it done in Chinatown. I got to shout out Gold Era Tattoo on Clay Street. So Tito Gavino, Tito, that's who I wanted to shout out, was my artist. The most professional tattoo job. This is my 7th or 8th tattoo. The most professional. He did this in 2 hours. I'm sitting there running my mouth, giving him my life story. I can't make this up. 4 months after I get the tattoo, 4 or 5 months after the tattoo's finished, is when they were officially voted the mascot officially of San Francisco. Okay, so not related to the story, but again, the story will pick up just as crazily at the beginning of 2023. So let's just wrap up 22. So that's why this is probably my favorite thing that happened, but also as equally as cool and awesome was that I saw Andrea Bocelli at the Chase Center with my mom, standing room only. Yeah. My mom and me saw Andrea Bocelli at the Chase Center. That's all I can say. Like, yeah. Those were the highlights of 2022. Like, yeah. So, but again, fairly uneventful. I guess the other thing that happened was that I moved into, like, my shit's all finally stabilized, like no longer subletting, right? Finally got my own place, like, thank God, right? That's what I needed. Yeah. So 1 for the money and 2 for the show. Now clap your hands if you got a bankroll. Okay, had to get that out. Sorry, because again, you're gonna see what happens. Well, you'll see what happens in the next video. So at this point, 2022 has been brought to a close, and let's begin. Let's begin a brand new year in the next video.